Guys, we don't have no guests. I don't know what happened to my guest. I am really not sure. I'm totally worried about him now because we've been talking the entire time and I don't think he like flaked on me. So I didn't want to flake on you guys. So what I told him in a message, I said, hey, I'll come in and we'll get it started and we'll see what happens, but hit me up and let me know what's going on. He's just not here yet. And when I say he is oh, there he is. I'm waiting. Okay, there's a little bit of a mix-up. Let me send him the link once again. Okay. Obviously, he didn't get it, but it's okay. We're gonna do this again. You know, a lot of people get very, very, very nervous when they come on, and you know, sometimes they miss things, and then it is what it is. But just sent him the link. He appears to be coming in right now. So we're going to continue at least with the beginning of the show. One, I want to congratulate my recent subscribers. I totally appreciate you guys because I am getting close to that goal. Okay, I'm getting close to the goal. I'm almost at my 500, which is where I wanted to be when I got closer to it. Okay, here he is right here. All right, guys, we are now welcoming the guests to the channel.
How we doing?
Oh, your audio sounds good, too. We're doing
I hope so.
Thank you for being... Look, I'm going to crowd you on. You get a crowd. You get a cheer for that. Listen, thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I've seen so many shows of yours, and it was one of those things. I was like, if I could just get on just once, you know, I would appreciate. Right? Then you reach. I didn't have to reach. I didn't have to ask. You reached out and you was like, hey, let's do it. And I was. Yeah. There wasn't even a question whether or not I was going to do it. You know, when you asked, I was like, let's go. You know, so.
Oh, thank you. Listen, I've been following you for such a while. And I've loved how you have pretty much shown us every shoe. I got to get to the golden question towards the end of the show because you look like you got a lot of shoes.
I do. It's definitely a problem, but it's a good problem to have.
That's wonderful.
It's a love. I definitely love it. It's not a hobby. It's a passion. It's a big difference.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And we will get more into that. So in the beginning of the show, I normally take the time to thank our latest subscribers. I hope you're subscribed to the channel.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you guys so much for believing in the channel. I cannot do this without you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you. It keeps me in their algorithm. And I just love YouTube. Like I love Instagram.
Agreed. Yeah.
But I love YouTube. I just love how YouTube is. And I have been around to watch the growth of YouTube. And it's so cool to see how YouTube has expanded over the years. So shout out to the latest subscribers. Okay, another thing. Shout out to the Virgos. Are you a Virgo? Are you having an upcoming birthday?
I actually just had one. I'm a Cancer. Cancer season just ended. So I just had a birthday. But I love Virgos though. I have a good friend of mine. She's a hairdresser and photographer. She's actually done a lot of she's my photographer actually. Her name is Karina Herrera. She has a salon out here in Hanford, California. She just started her own salon. She's doing great things. So she's my neighborhood Virgo friend.
What's her name again?
Her name is Karina Herrera. She has a beautiful salon. I want to say called Solstice.
Okay.
She's doing amazing things. She's also, all the pictures you see, all the professional photography you see, that's her. She does all of my photography. She's a good friend, a good person, great business person. Local. I always think you should buy local from people.
Yes.
Support your neighborhoods, support your community. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to her. But she's our resident Virgo around these parts.
Okay, big shout out to Karina. Feliz cumpleaños, mi amor. I see we got another Virgo in the building. Terry Mincy, thank you for being here. Is this one of your guests?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, Terry. I appreciate you. So Terry is a September version. I love that. We got Ryder 94 folk in the building. Thank you for being here, Ryder. We appreciate you. We also got somebody here named Alyssa, Mr. G. Thank you, Alyssa, for taking your time. If you're not a part of the family, press that subscribe button and support your girl. Terry is, I know Terry. I think this is the Dunk Junkie off of Instagram.
Okay.
Yes, there it is. Look, he said it. It's the Dunk Junkie. He is also an educator, and he is very intrigued on just different questions I'm going to ask you throughout the showcase, really touching on the positive relationships that are made in the sneaker culture as an educator. So we can't wait to hear from you. Also, too, what's up, Trey? That's Look Clevo. I believe he follows both of us. Thank you guys for your support. All right, guys, we got one of the greatest content educators in the land of Instagram on the show. He is a very consistent content poster. I'm going to say that. You post, and every post, I love it. I don't know if you got the angle on how you hold those shoes, but the angle is popping.
Thank you. I have long arms, so it helps.
The accessories on your shoe.
Yeah.
So tell us about you. We are repping right now with our amazing sneaker teacher, AAG, out of California. It's your turn. Tell us what you about, bro. Welcome to the show.
Well, once again, thank you for having me so much. I followed you for a long time. I love supporting my people. As I said not too long ago, this is sister season. So when you reached out, I had to jump on here with you. We should protect each other at all costs, protect Black women at all costs.
Thank you.
I will live, breathe, and die that. So anybody don't like that, don't like me. It is what it is. So but as far as as far as my shoes and my sneakers, I've always just loved it. You'll hear some stories when I get into my showcase, but it's always been something I just loved. I just couldn't get away from it. From the time I was in 7th grade, I got my first pair of Air Jordans. I want to say about 28, 29 years ago. I got hooked. That was it. As far as the accessories go, I love my shoes, but I'm always been about making things my own. You know, I want my stuff to stick out, and it's not just for Instagram. It's always been about making sure that whatever I was doing was different, and just making sure that it said Aaron or Mr. Gaulden on it. My students, my friends, my family, they know if it's an Aaron piece, they know it's different. They know I'm gonna put my own little spin on it, whether it's A, whether it's G, whether it's G.BOOGIE, my boy CJ Williams. He's one of the greatest teachers I've ever known, and he's also my brother. He gave me the nickname G.BOOGIE. So big shout out to him. He teaches here at the school. I just left. I'm going to a different site this year.
I saw that. You were very sad about that. I see.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. You know what? I'm a strong believer.
Like that in your captions.
Honestly, it's about the kids. It's always about the kids. They're about the kids. God puts us in places, and He'll put us in there for a lifetime or for a season, right? And I was there for a season, and when I wasn't needed anymore, He let me know. He opened those doors, and He closed, and he closed some other ones, and He made sure that He slammed them in my face to make sure that all the decisions I was like pondering over, He made the decisions for me, you know. And I was really going back and forth whether or not to stay in that place. And I had two meetings over the course of a month that He just said no. He made the decisions for me. because I'm loyal to a fault. And even with all that was wrong, I would have rode that until the wheels fell off, you know. And but no, I've always just my style, all things. I believe even in my everyday dress going to work, I think every day should be a fashion show.
Yeah, look at that right there.
I believe that. That's me repping my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Stand Up.
Love it.
I'm a Q dog until Omega Psi Phi till I die, baby. I'm a proud Q. I know.
So what college did you go to?
I went to the University of Iowa. That's where I played football out there for a little bit, and did some things out there. Came back. I didn't graduate from there, but I did some things out there. Spent a year and a half out there. Came back to California and got some sun. I didn't too much like the snow and the humidity, so I graduated, you know, home and whatnot. So, but now I'm a proud member of Omega Psi Phi.
I love it. Look at that.
Yes.
And wait a minute. So tell us about this.
Okay,
this man is everywhere.
Yes. He's a close personal friend of mine. He's not really my friend. He's my brother. His name is Tyron Brackenridge. Shout out to Tyron. We call him Bossy because when he was a young boy, he bossed everybody around. So that was his nickname. He's one of my very. I have a small circle. I keep it very tight. And he's in that. You'll probably hear all the names in my circle before the day's over. But he's one of the ones that's in my circle. He was recently inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame for his junior college. Down in Southern California. That was actually during the week. I live about 3 hours from LA, so I'm in Central California. Gotcha. And that was on, I want to say, a Thursday night. So I got off work. My wife and I drove down, and we hit his event, and we drove back that night. It was a quick turnaround, but I wasn't gonna miss that for the world. I wasn't gonna miss honoring him, celebrating him, and we are just brothers in all things, especially in life. So
wow, I love it. It screams brotherhood.
Yes. Oh, we may not be blood, but we brothers. And I'm sorry, family's what you make it. And all because you're not blood, don't mean you're not family.
I appreciate that. And you know, people don't realize getting out of work and then getting in the car for a 3-hour drive after you have given all day, poured in all day, takes a lot of effort. So he has to mean a lot to you.
Absolutely.
Because I can see it all over you guys. Now, listen, we know that you are amazing in and out of the classroom, but I could not resist it because this is what I do as a school counselor. It's hugs all day. Tell us about how you as an educator in the sneaker culture, talk to us. What is happening here?
I'm not gonna say his name, but he is.
Please don't.
He is literally. He was a student that became a son. So I had him for 2 years because I was able to transition. I'm leaving the middle school world, so I started out teaching 7th grade, and that year was the transition. I moved to 8th grade. So I had him for both 7th and 8th grade, both of his years there. And he literally, I learned from him. He learned from me. I hoped he still takes what I have from him, but I don't know. He literally changed my life. And my classroom will never be the same since he's not been in it.
Wow.
He had some struggles, but I had some struggles too. And it was one of those things that the perception of him from other people was never correct. And I saw that. You know, teachers' lounges are a microcosm for negative talk, especially
for gossip.
Exactly, right? Especially in an area where you have less than 1% of an African American population, both student and educator, right? So he unfairly earned a very negative reputation very early. And I just instantly became an advocate for him, and instantly he and I just bonded. Funny story, my mother was a teacher for 35 years. All
right, Mama.
Right?
Good job, Mama.
And she taught in a neighboring city. And all of his uncles were in her class when they were coming up. So it was just a family affair, right? So she taught his uncles. Now I was able to teach him. And it was just a family affair, right? So I just saw how he was being treated, how he was spoken of. It's funny when students are acting like students and children are acting like children, but some children get the benefit of the doubt, right? And as an educator, especially in this area where there's so few of us, more often than not, I'm the only one in the room, or I'm one of the few in the room, right? And our students feel that, our kids feel that, and being that role model for him and for all students like him, saying, hey, you can still be who you are. You can wear your sneakers. You can wear hip hop. You can listen to hip hop music. You can dress how you want to dress. And you can have all the swag in the world, but you can still do it the right way. You can have an education. I have 4 college degrees. You can be this exemplary, exquisite individual. You can be this community leader. You can be this role model. And you can still be who you are. And guess what? I look like you. I like what you like. We can go eat together and partake in those same pleasures that are specific to our ethnicity, to our culture, to our community, and still be these effective and just exquisite people that are on top of that, that our swag and our cool is just unmatched, right? So that's who that is. I love it with all my heart. I have a son that the Lord blessed me with, but when I met him, I got another one.
Yeah, you did. And you know what? And the picture says it all. You know what? When I was doing the research for your showcase, I found it to be so amazing because, of course, I've read it. Because again, we've been to school, we've read multiple research topics. But what they did say was that the majority of suspended kids are Black boys. The majority of kids who are suspended out of a school district, the statistics are showing, it's not skewed, it is a mere fact that Black boys are the ones who are suspended quicker than any student in that school. And I've seen it with my own eyes.
The question I've always posed is, how are they less than 1% of the population, but they lead the suspension rate by a country mile? How does that even work?
Right.
Like that, the math doesn't math, right, as they would say, right? So
it does not.
They need advocates. They need voices. They need shields from what's happening. And people, I hear people say this all the time, and I adamantly disagree. They say, "Oh, it's getting bad." It's always been bad. Now we just have the means to record it, right? It's not a difference, right? It's not hasn't transitioned, and I've been called names by both students and colleagues, parents, right? Like, and people always ask, Mr. Gaulden, how do you keep your cool? Because I want to go home. That's why.
Right.
I don't want to go somewhere else. I want to go home. I want to see my family. I want to see my sneakers. I want to come back tomorrow. That's how you keep your cool, right? No.
Exactly.
And transitioning to that, my sneakers really just started as far as me kind of taking that to my job. And as a teacher, as an educator, when I was substitute teaching about 7 years ago, students, I would go to different schools and they would remember me as, excuse my language, the teacher that wore the sneakers and didn't take any shit, basically.
Right? Same. I didn't wear sneakers though, but I didn't take crap.
Right.
Classroom management is what I thrive in.
Likewise, and
it is what it is.
but they need that. They love that because they're begging for that, because that's that discipline, that hard love that they would get from a parent.
And honestly, they love it. They love it so much. But excuse me, sneaker teacher, let me go back. Okay, we got teacher heat. Somebody is here for you to say el rey maestro. Yes, sir. I love that. So Terry Mincy says, I'm Greek also. I didn't go to NPHC route, but so much respect to you as a Q dog. Hey. Also, he said that my playlist says clips. Am I saying that right? Clips?
What?
Is it clipsy or clips?
Do
you see the comments? Are you able to see the comments?
No.
Oh no, really? Oh, you got to see the comments. They're coming in.
Oh, I see.
You see them?
Yeah.
Okay. Terry Missy says his playlist is clips, but he got 3 degrees. I get it. Trey is saying we can listen to Mobb Deep and have degrees all day long. Okay. Absolutely. Teacher Heat is here. Teacher Heat is really supporting you, giving you flowers. Hello, Rose. Hi, Rose. Rose has a tear. Has she not seen you in a while?
No, she's my wife, so she sees me every day.
She's so proud of you. It's making her cry. Hi, Rose. Welcome to the channel, Rose. I'm so glad you're here, Rose, because I'm going to throw a question at you because you're the wife of the man who wears the sneakers and he's the educator. Okay, Tyranny Clippers like Eclipse. Okay, gotcha. What's up, Alexandria? Out of Maryland, all of that. She's out of Washington. She was on here last week. So, okay, here we go, guys. We are hitting that part of the channel. We are ready to get it started. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
You are coming on JayS4DaYZ on Sunday. And you are bringing your top 3 Jordan. And you throwing in the bonus shoe.
Yes, ma'am.
Sneaker Teacher AAG, tell us, are you starting with your number 1 or your number 3?
I want to build a little bit.
What are we starting with?
I want to build a little bit, so I'm going to start with number 3.
Woo! Guys, he is ready to hit the show. Are y'all ready in the chat box? Are y'all ready? Hey, sis. Okay, let me know, bro, when you want me to take it away.
All right, so my 3rd overall sneaker that I have in my collection, and I might get some side eyes for this because it's a top sneaker. But I feel like I've always wanted to do the culture, the sneaker culture, the community justice. And I feel like this sneaker really validated me as a member of that community because it was so massive in the release, the love for it. I'm not a big hype guy, but the hype and the heat behind it was so epic. It was something I had never really seen before in a singular release. So my number 3 overall was one that I feel really validated me as a sneakerhead individually. Has to be the Jordan 4 SB Pine Green that released last year. I believe if you see the laces, you talked about my accessories earlier on. Yes. Most of my laces are from Get Laced or Proof Culture. Those are 2 Black-owned lace companies. They take good care of me, so I take care of them. But this sneaker to me is honestly one of the holy grails I have in my collection. This is the reason why I renamed my hallway the Holy Grail hallway when this hit. Before this, my grail was the metallic 4 purples. I still have those. Those represent my daughter because those are that's her favorite color. But this shoe here,
keep that up.
This shoe here really validated me as a sneakerhead. When I really got into this culture, this community, and I love it. I fell in love with it. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. You have to wear what you love. You have to wear what you like. You have to do what works for you in regards to what you're comfortable in, what you're comfortable doing. There's so much as far as hype and people being negative now that I think a lot of the younger community, they've kind of lost their way. I think the older community, guys around my age, and the female sneakerheads, quite frankly, are really saving it. And they're keeping us afloat right now. Honestly, sounds crazy, but I think guys my age, that 35 to 45 box, and female sneakerheads in that movement are really kind of saving the movement right now. Think about those like yourself.
Thank you.
A good friend of mine. She goes by Sneakers with Neat. She's out of the Bay Area.
Okay, I need to get her.
Another one. Her name is Annie. Her at is sNeAKErHEAD. She's out of North Carolina. Another one is.
Oh, I know her. My little Asian cutie.
Yes.
Yes. I've been trying to get her on the channel.
Just so lovely as well. They're just legitimizing it. They're really legitimizing sneaker culture as females, and not just as female sneakerheads, but just sneakerheads in general. Yes. They're legit as all outdoors. Now, granted, you have guys like Real Daddy Seed, who I call him the plug of all plugs.
Oh, we love Real Daddy
That's my
Seed.
man. That is my dude. Eyes for Kicks, of course, Chris.
Eyes for Kicks.
That's my and I can't not mention Jeremy's Kicks. He is
yes,
probably
dude, I follow all of them. They're some good people, man.
He is such a good person and so positive that he just wants you. He makes you want to be a positive member of that community.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful that he always comes through. He'll come through and show love, and I know he's busy, and he's one of those. Has those massive Instagram accounts with thousands of followers. So the fact he can stop through and look at little old me and my page is always appreciated.
Oh, don't you just love those like yourself? I mean, you're close to almost 10,000 followers, and I'm not. And look at you giving me a chance. Coming on the channel and really supporting people like me. One thing I want to say about those SBs is I love how the collaboration of them being a skateboard shoe, you can leave the skateboard and enter into the court. So are they really comfortable? They seem like a very comfortable shoe.
I hear so much that the Jordan 4 is the most uncomfortable shoe. I don't get that. I
don't either.
I think honestly the most uncomfortable shoe, and I still wear it, don't get me wrong, is the Jordan 5. I think that shoe kills my pinky toe every time I wear it. I'm not gonna lie. Don't get me wrong, I'm still wearing it. Right?
Still gonna put it on now.
they almost made them Ama Miniere Dusk almost made the showcase, right? So I'm gonna still wear them, right? But I never got the whole discomfort with the Jordan 4. I think as a teacher, there are certain pairs I can dress up, certain Jordans I can dress up. That's one of them. Jordan 4s, 3s, 12s, 5s, 11s. You can dress those up, and I can wear those with my everyday, swag, or I can put that with a tuxedo like I did at my boy's wedding. So, no matter what, you can dress those things up. But I love those 4s. I'm looking forward to the SB 4s drops this year. They're gonna drop them both on the same day. But if I gotta drop 5 bills, I'll drop 5 bills. No worries.
Oh, you and me both, man. We are on the same page with that. So Trey out of Maryland, and I'm sorry, Alexandra is out of Virginia. Please forgive me because I know she would slice me up for that one. Trey says Jordan 11s are uncomfortable. To me as well, Jordan 11s, he can't fit in those like that. Alexandra says, I don't have issues with the 4s either. She's a 4 girl. She was here last week and she brought the 4. She brought a 4 and it was really cool. So Trey says, I just can't wear 4s all day long. I love me some 4s. I love me some 4s.
And honestly, I discovered the crease beats, those soft crease protectors. And those things, I have narrow feet, so my toe box is really open no matter what. I wear size 13, but I have really long, narrow feet. So my toe box is always how much space in it, right? So those crease protectors don't only preserve my shoes, but they add a little extra comfort on top of my foot. So but
so you can walk with those crease protectors in your shoes.
I can walk with them things all day long and not feel it.
Whoa.
So if you haven't gotten crease beats yet,
I will try those.
I won't wear any other crease protector. I will let my shoes crease before I wear anything else.
Can you send us that link and I can put it in your description box?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. So this is a part of the show, teacher. I want to call you teacher because I love that. Or maestro.
Yes,
that we like to ask some very pertinent questions. So I just want to start right out because you appear to be a very influenced Jordan lover. What did Michael Jordan do for you personally? What did he do for you?
The quality of the product. I was always raised. And you'll hear about my father specifically when I get to my bonus sneaker. But I've always been taught you get what you pay for. And my father always taught us, no matter what, you take care of your feet. He said, because you're not always going to be a young man. So you take care of your feet. And he kept my brother and I in good shoes because he grew up poor. We didn't. I'm not that cat that's going to say I came from a struggle. I didn't. We were the Cosbys coming up, right?
Come on, Huxtables.
I'm okay, and I'm proud to say my parents worked hard. My parents didn't grow up that way, but we did, right? So,
Right. Same.
and I'm proud to say that I'm honored and proud to have parents that that were able to do what they did for us. I'm trying to do the same thing for my daughter and my son. But it was always about getting what you pay for, and there was nothing. I don't think there's anything high quality than an Air Jordan sneaker.
That's right. I
And on top of that, I just love the style. I love that culture. I bought other sneakers. You can look at my page and see everything I bought now. Over the past year and a half, going on 2 years, it's been nothing but JayS.
Yeah.
It's been nothing but, and I'm okay. And my entire Holy Grail hallway now is nothing but Jordans 1 through 11, with the exception of 10s. I have no 10s. I don't care for them.
Yeah.
I don't wear them. I've never owned a pair of 10s, but other than that, it's 1 through 13. You see the ones and twos. I call this the turntable wall behind me because it's nothing but ones and twos.
Yeah.
With
turntable.
Right, because the airships go up top, and then my other hallway, it's 3s through 13s. So wow. I just hit 133 Jordans in this hallway.
Okay, wait a minute, hold on now. You know I gotta cheer you for that, because that is a true blessing, brother. Yeah. Woo! I know Rose is like, have mercy, help the pockets.
She's accepted it at this point, so we're all good. We're okay.
Rose, your pressing question is, how do you deal with him sneaking and his collection growing, and you don't even know it's growing until it's all the way up to the ceiling? You're like, oh, you've been purchasing, hubby.
She knows.
How do you deal with that, Rose? I agree with you. I believe Jordans are of very good quality. There are some really amazing shoes out there, but I don't know. Jordans just really give me the comfort as an educator, because I walk a lot too. We hitting 5,000 steps, sometimes 10 a day. So, I mean, I'm with you. And I love what Michael Jordan has done for us, you know, within the community, and the legacy he's left for us.
And those that know his story, understand he took control of his career and his endorsement. He wasn't going to be shortchanged. That's how the Jordan 1 was born. He took Nike to task and said, no, I want this endorsement to be mine. I want to make sure that I have a long-standing agreement with this product. And and today he's making more money not playing basketball than he ever made playing basketball, because of that shoe and that brand. So that was a good model, a good example of what it means to take control of your own professional destiny. And you look at guys like Chris Paul, like LeBron James, who are their own businesses now, the JayZs of the world. Those guys would not exist without the likes of Michael Jordan and his mother, quite frankly, because she led that charge for him when all that was happening.
So we know that there is a pure significance of parental involvement with your children when it comes to big decision making, because we see more for them than we do. And I love the way you said that Michael Jordan advocated for what he wanted as a Black man in the room with nothing but white men. Okay, he was in the room with nothing but white men. There was only one. Then they call him the godfather of Nike. Other than that, Michael Jordan had to have the highest confidence, because they thought they knew more. And he knew what he wanted for himself. I love that. Teacher, he says that's nothing but ownership. That is nothing but ownership. And Miss Rose says, I just pretend like I don't even see the boxes. She's amazing. All right, here we go, teacher. We are now going to your number 2. Number 2 shoe with the maestro. What we bringing, bruh?
So about a little over 2 years ago, another one of my friends, he wasn't in that picture, but his name is Terrell Quinn. He's a barber. He goes by Rails Cuts. Make sure you check him out. He is a superstar barber in Southern California at Wealth Barbershop in Rancho Cucamonga. Good friend of mine. He's not a friend, he's a brother, just like Tyron. And he asked me to be a groomsman in his wedding. And now I have to give him credit, because all of this is because of him. He's the one that inspired me to even start my page. He started it first. And I said, maybe I should start one too. And he said, go ahead, bro. You got the shoes, do it. He said, let's do it together. So I wouldn't even be doing this if it wasn't for him. So the shoe I wore for his wedding is the Air Jordan 1 Retro OG High Rebillionaire.
Oh,
So
look at the laces.
this is a sneaker that's so close to my heart. It's a big story behind it. It was a shoe that I wore, and being able to represent him at on his most important day of his life, his wedding. The fact that he asked me was an honor. He could have asked anyone to be in that wedding, and to be on that list was so memorable, and it was a privilege to not only be in his wedding, but to call him my friend, my brother. He is my brother in sneakers and in life. So this shoe means a great deal to me. The detail, if you can tell, I love my specialty sneakers, my rare sneakers, special editions. But this one is, as you can see, the laces, once again, these are from Get Laced. These were a pair of customs that they sent me. Like I always say, they take good care of me, so I always do my best to take good care of them. They're also based out of Southern California, but this shoe it means a lot to me. I don't even wear it that much because it's a trophy. It's like my trophy room. It's like my trophy case, right? So it means so much to me. The Air Jordan 1 OG High Rebillionaire.
Oh my God. One, that was so cool that you got to wear that shoe at his wedding.
Yes, ma'am.
The one that influenced you in this culture become one under God. That was really cool. And the fact that you wore those, oh my God, one of my favorites. One that sits with me too, teacher, like my maestro.
Hey.
I love this shoe. I need to get me some of them laces like you.
I'll send you the link.
Send me the link.
I
agree.
I'll send you the link and my coupon code to get you 20% off.
I love that. Hey, give us that shoe one more time. Give us a 360. What do you think is the reasoning behind the graffiti? What are your thoughts? I got another question for you, but I just want to know, since you got that shoe out, what is the meaning of that graffiti?
I believe he was rebelling against the NBA to wear this shoe. Way back when, and it was when, once again, it goes back to what my main teacher, he said, is ownership, right? And he understood the best way to promote his brand was to wear it. And it wouldn't make sense that you have your own signature shoe and you can't even wear it and display it, right? So I think that's why, and once again, that's why we turn on NBA games now and we see everyone wearing a different shoe. There was a time where everyone had to wear the same shoe, where it was a team shoe. It was, or you get fined. I believe he got fined every time he wore a certain shoe. And he didn't care. He was fine with it. He understood that he's going to make more on the back end in life than those little nickels and dimes they were finding him out of his game checks. So I think it speaks to the sense of social disobedience that's actually necessary, especially for Black people in this country, historically speaking. And you're going to hear a lot about that with my number one. Historically speaking, we have been disallowed to express ourselves and to simply exist.
I'm sorry. I can't control myself.
And it comes down to it. If you really want to get into it, that's another reason why I am the way I am, why I dress the way I dress when I go to work, why I wear my sneakers. You're not going to disallow me to express myself. You're not going to mute me. I've run into problems professionally because I was too honest or too real. But guess what? I wouldn't change anything. If someone else that doesn't look like me can be completely out of pocket, unprofessional, don't bash me because I am professional, but I'm articulate and I'm honest. And if I don't fit that mold, and that mold doesn't make you comfortable, that's not my problem. But I'm not going to turn down my volume. I'm not going to mute myself, because at the end of the day, that student that you saw me hugging, my son, my daughter, every other student that looks like me, every Black and brown child that I teach or come in contact with, I need them to know that you are important and that you are excellent, and that no one should mute you because it makes them uncomfortable that you exist. So that's why I do this. Honestly, that's why I take pride in showing up and showing out every single day. That's why I expect more out of my students. That's why I push them. That's why I will never dump them down. And that's why I make a point to stand out. I'm 6'5", 245 pounds. I'm not a small dude, but guess what? I'm not going to blend in either.
Yes.
I don't want our kids to blend in, because it's easy just to want to say, I don't want to be seen or heard. No, be seen and be heard. Be the loudest one in the room. Okay.
That's right.
And that's why I love this so much. It sticks out. I walk in and you're gonna know that the G's in the building, and I want to keep it that way.
The AAG is in the building, baby. I love that. So listen, Trey is saying one of my favorites. And he's also saying it's basically the bad boy pair. The rebellionist message behind it. And teacher, he is clapping. Yes, show us again.
That's why we have the X on there.
That's right. And the importance of what is saying. Because I wore that shoe to school one day, and I was walking down the hallway, and a 4th grade teacher stopped me, and she was like, I really like the way it looked. And I said, the look is amazing, but the message behind it is even bigger. And she was like, wow. So I sat there and really explained to her what that shoe was. But it was the point of me being able to go, this is who I am. And I'm walking down this hallway in this shoe to let every other kid of color know that you can do this too, including my beautiful Black girls who I service. Okay, quick question. Here we go. Do you think sneaker culture creates positive impacts on relationship building in classrooms and or the entire school, the school profile? What are your thoughts on the sneaker culture with positive impacts on relationships?
Absolutely. It's nothing but positive interaction and positive culture, because it's a connection. Anytime you can connect to the students that you're teaching, it's positive, right? And it's so simple. It's both big connections, simple connections. It's as simple as, in the moment when you're teaching something, they'll ask you a question about, Mr. Gaulden, what shoes are you gonna wear tomorrow? I can say, you know what, get this quick ride done for me, and we can talk about sneakers for 10 minutes. Right? And it's just those little things. But even on the bigger spectrum, it's having them look forward to something every day, right? It's having them say, hey, Mr. Gaulden, buy me a pair of shoes. And I can look at them and say, bring me a 4.0, I'll get you a pair of JayS you want. And they'll look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, test me, go ahead. And I've had a student bring me a report card and say, Mr. Gaulden, I got a 4.0. I was like, okay, what pair of JayS you want? And he went on go, and he thought, well, I can get this $300 pair of shoes. He was shocked out his drawers when I showed up the next day with him. Because guess what? I gave him my word. You bring me these grades. And this young man hadn't got an A since he was in 8th grade. He hadn't got an A since he was in 1st grade.
He hadn't got something to work for.
So he was like, I'm gonna see if he's really for real. And then it's like, okay, he brought me some shoes, and he couldn't believe it, right? So it's all those things, and it's all those things with kids seeing what's possible while maintaining who you are. And it's kids. I say this a lot. I didn't have a teacher that looked like me until I got to college. Right? I was a junior at Cal State University, Monterey Bay, where I got my double bachelor's. And I had my first Black instructor, Professor John Bordeaux. And if you want to know what he looked just like Russell Huxtable, the Heathcliff's father on the Cosby Show.
I know who you're talking about.
I called home. I said, Mom, Heathcliff's father is my professor, right? and dude was eloquent, and I swear he spoke, and he looked, and he carried himself like he was Harry Belafonte. You couldn't tell the two apart, right?
Educated.
And I was like, yo, and for the first time, outside of my mother, I never saw a Black teacher, right? Wow. And now you have higher education, academia, this stature, this guy, he was just that dude, right? And
this mirror.
Yes. And all of a sudden, I was like, yo, this dude is the truth. And I'm like, wait a minute. He's doing this. I'm like, what should we be doing right now? And all of a sudden the page started turning on what I should be doing. Not so much necessarily being in education, but being influencing and a community leader for those that look like me that don't have what I have and haven't achieved what I had achieved at that point yet, right? And now I can look back and say he was a major reason for that. But no, the sneaker culture is so influential because they love it and they aspire to it. And it's like for us, when I had hair, right? Getting a fresh haircut made you feel like a new man, right?
Yes, it does.
Or getting your car washed make you, a new pair of sneakers for a kid, right? A fresh pair of J's, they even walk down the hallway differently, right? So understanding that if they can see that in you, if they can see, hey, he likes what we like, he loves what we love, it's like they'll work hard, they will break their noses for you, they will come to school sick for you.
Mhm.
And on top of that, they will love you, but you have to love them back. And you have to show, and you can't just say, you got to show them what you do and how you treat them, how you teach them.
Yeah. And one thing I love what you touched on is you said it allows them to be able to have self-expression.
Mm-hmm.
It allows them to have the control over something that's, like Terry said, it's a nonverbal communication. He said that, you know, I was always smart, but never related to my teacher. So his name is the Dunk Junkie. If that teacher would have wore dunks in that classroom, automatically Terry and that teacher would have glued, not even talking yet. But the fact that that teacher wore shoes that connected to the youth of Terry, to the new hip hop, the new music, the new streetwear, Terry's brain would have absorbed just the fact that this person wears shoes that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And that nonverbal communication you touched on is so well. When I did some research, it says this: when teachers wear sneakers, they make a statement for the kid to realize, I value your personality as a student.
Mm-hmm.
I value your character, and I value your self-worth and respect as the educator towards the student through sneakers, because it is a simple expression. Like, you got the chat going crazy. I sell sneakers, not jeans. Shout out to my girl. You got to follow her podcast. She's amazing. Thank you. She's out of St. Louis. Rose, Miss Rose says they are hushed so often. Very true, Rose. They are hushed so often. They get to express themselves with only one thing, and that is the shoes. Yeah, because the boy you were hugging in this picture, he also had on a pair of Jordans. Your son from a different Mr. and Mama, he had on a pair of Jordans too. And I saw both of y'all feet. I went straight to y'all feet, even though I was immersed too in the connection. But I also saw he was wearing them too, and that probably screamed a lot of you being his mentor. You know? And we appreciate that answer from you. It is nothing like allowing a kid to be self-expressive through their feet.
Exactly.
And Rose hit it on the nail. They are shushed a lot. Like schools need to start lightening up, because there is a lot of familiarity with prison routine and the school routine. The walking down the hallway completely shut, quiet, like a robot. Like, okay, we can whisper, but you don't have to be in a single file line, like you can't talk to the kid behind you. Very weird. So did you drop from middle school to elementary, or did you go to high school?
Oh no. Oh baby, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I'm going to high school. So
Yay!
So no, I tapped out. Middle school is different. Granted, I have so many students that the one thing I'm going to miss, well, a couple things I'm going to miss. I have one of my best friends in the world. She's a teacher. She was my neighbor from the time we started to now.
Wow.
So she is not just a colleague, not just a friend. She's one of my sisters, and I love her to death. So I'm going to miss her, because she is, and she knows who she is. But she kept me grounded, kept me from going nuts, because it was always just us, you know, and my other friend, CJ Williams, the one who gave me the nickname G.BOOGIE.
G.BOOGIE.
Right. But my students, I coach girls basketball. I have so many different connections through the kids, and I love them. So I am going to miss them. But they know how to get to me. They know how to reach out to me. I keep certain lines of communication open just for them. So if they ever need me, they know how to get with me.
I love that. Terry, he's very intrigued by you because he's in higher education. And he's a dunk junkie. So he says it's wild because in the 90s, elementary schools were uniform, even though they were public. I see both sides. Uniform makes all economic status feel equal, but self-expression gets eliminated. Would you like to elaborate on that, Maestro? You want to say
Um,
some things about that?
I'm not necessarily against school uniforms. If you think, I was thinking about this earlier. If you ever watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the character Will Smith, he went to Bel-Air Prep, but he always had on Air Jordans.
He did.
Right? So
Uh-huh.
that was where you can still get that level of self-expression. And I've never been anywhere that had school uniforms that required you to wear a certain shoe with that uniform. So honestly, I'm all for school uniforms, because if you look at the numbers of places that have school uniforms, their college acceptance rate is much higher than those schools that don't have those things, right?
Whoa.
So I'm sorry?
I didn't know that.
Absolutely. If you look at places and schools and just check the numbers, their college acceptance rate is much higher than public schools that don't require school uniforms. And because it allows students to do a few things that they're not concerned with. Like, they're not worried about what they're wearing. They're worried about their academics. They're not worried about social anxiety because their clothes aren't like the clothes of their classmate. They're not wearing the latest styles. They can go to work. They can go to school and go to work, right? And they can hit those books like they're supposed to. And grant there's other factors to be successful in the classroom, but that's a major piece that is eliminated through school uniforms. So I've always been an advocate of that. Now, for socioeconomic disadvantaged areas, if we're going to require school uniforms, we need to be paying for those school uniforms, right? We can't require school uniforms and say you got to go pay them, because now parents have to make a decision between school uniforms and putting food on the table. We don't want to ask them to make that decision. So if we're going to do that, granted, we should provide those things too. And trust me, the money's there. They can say there's no money there. The money's always there.
We know the money's there. You get it from 3 different ways, and sometimes 4. The money is there. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
If they're able to drive a Mercedes Benz, SL 500 to work, they can get these kids a school uniform that costs 15 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, and where I'm at, if you live in a $500,000 house, almost $1 million, and you're an educator and you up there sitting and you're approving all these budgets, then we got the money to do other things as well. I mean, in this state, they cut pre-K. They cut pre-K out of schools in the state of Tennessee.
Wow.
Which is the seed of early childhood development. So I don't know, we can go back and forth, and that's why I love the fact that you wanted to come on, because you are very, very, very eloquently putting things into play when it comes to this. So my husband, hi David, he has a question for you. He's asking, did you put Rose on the sneaker game? Is Rose in the sneaker game?
She is. Yes and no. She's not a fan of shoes. She'd rather walk around in flip-flops and sandals and whatnot. But she has some 4s. She has some 13s. She loves dunks. So that's easy. Those are always easy to cop for the most part. She has quite a few pairs of dunks. But yeah, she's kind of turned the corner a little bit. So she still loves her purses. So I keep her with a nice purse, but other than that, she's kind of has 1 foot in, 1 foot out at this point.
I love that. Go Rose! Woo! Shout out to Rose in the building, baby. So Terry, he's really loving your showcase. He's saying, thanks for this info. I always wanted to be best dressed in the school, superlatives, but make honor roll. I'm a Virgo perfectionist. I mean, we get it. And what about those quiet kids? How do you connect with those quiet kids, Maestro?
You have to win their hearts first, right? And you have to figure out who they are, and it takes time. That's that front-loaded investment. You can't just go in day one and start teaching. You have to understand who's in front of you, and understand at some point before they were in front of you, someone gave them a really, really bad impression of school and teachers, and you have to repair that. And once you repair that, and once you are consistent with those things, you can reach any student. You can get them to do anything. Now a couple of things: you can never make promises that you can't keep. Right? That's big. You should never make those promises, but always be honest with them. Always be transparent. And let them know who you are, first of all. That's another reason why I do what I do, right? they know I'm going to come every day and I'm going to have a fit that's going to match my sneakers. But I'm not going to look like, I'm out of a rap video. They're going to think, oh,
Right.
Mr. Gaulden has this crazy fit and he looks good, right? So I just want them to see what they can be and still be in their own skin, be comfortable in their own skin. But those quiet students, those difficult students, there's no such thing. They just haven't found the right person to open up to yet.
That's very true. You sound like a principal. You
Not,
do. You sound
not,
like a principal.
not in this lifetime, baby.
You sound like me.
I want more than 2 weeks off. No way.
Right, and you want a life, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So Rose is saying all his students love him and know he means business. There's that perfect equilibrium there, that awesome yin and yang balance of they know there's an expectation here, but they also know I can be vulnerable with you and and I can be your safe space.
Well,
This is a safe
they
space
can be
to learn.
vulnerable when you're vulnerable with them, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You have
yes.
to, and what I do intentionally, a lot of them don't know this. If they're watching, they're gonna find out one of my secrets. I make mistakes early. I make intentional mistakes early, and I let them see those mistakes, and I do them in a way to where it's very visible, it's very blatant. So they say, oh, dude's making mistakes, and I'm like, I messed this up, yo. I'm sorry. Don't do the homework assignment. That's my fault. I'll give you credit for it, right? And it's like, like I made a mistake. It's on me. I make mistakes. I'm a person too, right? And I'm doing 10,000 things every hour, so I'm gonna miss something every now and then, and that's okay. Make your mistakes, and if you're gonna make them big, don't never make a mistake because you're afraid to take a risk, right? But so make a mistake, make it big. Don't be afraid. Take a risk, but I'm vulnerable, and you have to be, and I'm never gonna try to make myself out to be more than what I am to impress students, because that's a disconnect there, right? I want them to know I'm in this with you. I'm in this fight with you. I'm in this struggle with you. I want you to be successful. It's not about how I look. It's about making sure you're better off when you leave me than when I got you in the first place. And however we get there.
Yeah, the way you're speaking, I don't know why I'm picking up, and then we're gonna move to his number one, y'all. The way you're speaking, I'm picking up what Jordan went through, because he got a lot of hits. A lot of ugly people was saying some things at him. They say it was cheating on Juanita. I mean, he was hit. His father died in the brink of his career. His father was murdered in the brink of his career. And all I hear, and I also hear Phil Jackson saying that at the end of the day, we are a team. Everybody will shine, but the main goal is we win together. We win together. And in classes, that's what needs to be that main theme and intention. There's going to be mistakes made. Somebody's not going to make that game-winning shot. But at the end of the day, we still going to cheer you on like you made that game-winning shot.
Absolutely.
We're still going to be there.
Well, because you're in education, teachers can be some of the pettiest people in the world, right?
Lord help it.
And when students love you, that's kind of a double-edged sword, because when you're getting love from students and faculty and administration, it's one of those things. There's going to be somebody that just hates you for no reason, right? And the issues I have run into were basically stem from that. It's everybody loves them. Guess what? That's not my problem, right? And what people loving me is what makes me effective. And if you can't understand that, either you have three options: lead, follow, or get out the way, right? And if you choose to do one of those things, that's up to you. If you choose to sit on the sideline and throw salt at me, that's your problem too.
Them high schoolers gonna love you, teacher. They gonna love you. Okay, y'all, here we go. We are moving into his number one shoe, and he's gonna give us a great story behind that number one shoe. You ready, bro? Here we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Hit it.
So, kind of with the thing that we've been talking about, historically speaking, African Americans, we've been so disallowed to participate in certain things and take part in certain privileges. So my number one sneaker that I'm bringing you today is the Eastside Golf Air Jordan Retro 12. This is out of all my Jordans, out of all my sneakers, this is my absolute favorite shoe. I've only worn it once because I am ultra protective of it. A funny story, Eyes for Kicks, he helped me track this sneaker down. We tracked this sneaker for like 2 years because going through those that were probably reps, they weren't legit. He helped me track this pair down. So major shout out to him. I appreciate him for that. But this is my all-time favorite sneaker. Eastside Golf, basically, if you don't know the history behind Eastside Golf, you have
tell us. We do not.
You have two African-American brothers that are uber educated through HBCUs that just simply had a love of golf and understanding. If you understand the history of golf in America, especially with places like Augusta, where we were disallowed to partake and engage and participate in golf on those courses because of what we are. You had two African-American men who were ultra educated, who had businesses, who were already established, who loved golf and said, we want to do this for ourselves and create our own brand for our people, by our people, and do it at a very high quality way. Just like Amam and Yair, Awake New York, those other sister companies of theirs. But this shoe, my favorite silhouette of Jordan is in fact the Jordan 12. If you know me, you know this is my favorite one. The Jordan 12 royalty almost made the showcase, but I couldn't get through. I couldn't not use this one. Just the history behind the shoe, the colorway on it, the uniqueness of it. Every other Jordan 12 that I've seen has some type of black or OG red on it in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, the flu games are the most iconic Jordan 12 with the playoffs coming in, and then the original, that new royalty colorway, the original black on white. But these are my absolute favorite sneaker. I didn't touch them. For me, being able to flip out every sneaker I get, I didn't touch these. These are all original. The laces, the hang tag that's on them. You see my hang tags, my A's, my G's. I didn't touch these. I literally left these as I got them. I made a point to do that. I did not want to mess with these. This is the only shoe that when this one's done, I will go back and find another one. I don't care, but I don't care what it costs me. I will go back and I will find this shoe. I will always have this shoe in my collection as long as I'm doing this. This shoe means so much to me. Understanding that historically, we always told we can't do something. Even when Tiger Woods was winning Masters at Augusta, they were making jokes about fried chicken and collard greens.
Yeah,
that was Augusta. That was golf. So if you understand your history, whether you know history or not, you better learn it or it's going to repeat itself, right? And this shoe is so close to my heart, considering who we are as a people, where we are, where we come, and where we still need to go. So this is my #1 shoe in my collection.
Look at it.
It is once again, the Air Jordan Retro 12 Eastside Golf, out the mud / out the clay. It's been called both of them, so I'll call them both.
Yeah.
So I love this sneaker. The details are outstanding. Like I said, I didn't touch this thing. I'm not going to. It is what it is.
Okay, so listen, so many things I love about that shoe, bruh. One, the burnt sunrise lizard texture.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
My husband has that shoe.
Yes.
He loves that shoe. And I was able to get close to that shoe. That lizard texture on that side, not including the cream colored leather. It's such a luxury 12.
Yes.
You know, it's just one of those. And I didn't know the history behind that.
Eastside Golf is one of those major black-owned businesses that honestly a lot of people wouldn't know if it wasn't for Jordan, because they drop really good-looking merchandise, right? So people wouldn't know it, but they need to kind of do their history and understand what they're wearing before they venture out on those things.
No, I'm glad you did that, because listen, I went on a hunt to know more about that shoe. I couldn't find as much information besides the description. And what I do love too is they took Jordan and made metallic gold embellishments throughout the shoe.
Yeah.
And also too, that iconic emblem Jumpman gold on the bottom of the shoe, like by the toe tip at the front. Yep. Oh my goodness. Show us that bottom of the shoe. Show us that. Oh my God. Look at that, y'all. Hold on. Let me do a solo. Because this is the first time this shoe's been brought on the channels, teacher.
And we see the hang tag. You see a golfer.
I see the golfer.
And the golfer is a brother too. So they made a point to do that too. So it worked out well.
The golfer is a brother. Okay, you got a comment there. Look, my husband said people slept on it. He said people slept on it, and he's right. Because when he got the shoe, I was like, why you get that shoe? He was like, you got to know your research, baby. You need to do some research.
One thing I've noticed, I'm sure you can agree on this, over the past 2 years, there's been so much, and when I say we, I mean the community, not me, because I just get what I like. But people have gotten so caught up in what has hype, what's not, what's popular. Get what you like. If you see something and you like it, get it. If you see it, you like it, you can afford it, get it. Don't worry about it. If other people don't like it, it's not their feet, right? Get what you want, right? And it comes down to understanding. That's where I think people my age and women in this have really kind of saved it, because y'all gonna do what y'all want to do, right? And I'm sorry, I'm 41 years old. I'm too old to listen to these kids what they think I should be wearing on my body and my feet. So it is what it. So wear what you like, man. And all because people aren't a part of what they're calling this hype beast now. It's like, it doesn't mean that you can't go get it or you won't look good in it, you know? So
exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people slept on it, which is fine for me, because when they sleep on things, it's easy to get, you know. So
and that shoe, very good choice for number one. And very good education. Thank you. Because we did not know that on JayS4DaYZ about that East Side golf shoe.
Yeah.
It is heavily influenced by our Black brothers and the tag.
Yes, indeed.
Quick last question for you, Professor.
Okay.
What is the most unattractive silhouette to you in the Jordan brand, and why? And if you could make changes to that silhouette you do not like, what would you make changes to? That's a good one.
That's a broad question, because honestly, I would say the 14.
Tell us.
I think the 14 for me is personally my least favorite, because I think they strayed from the formula. I really think that was the first time where they just said, we're going to veer off and try something totally different. If you look at Jordans 1 through 13, you always see some type of continuum from the one that came before. I think that was the first time from 13 to 14, they just said, no, we're going to scratch what we did with the 13 and just come up with this new just this new silhouette. And it just didn't work. And as little love as the 13 gets, understanding that is the He Got Game shoe. That's that Jesus Shuttlesworth He Got Game Jordan that people don't understand. That Jordan 13 is iconic, right?
It's big.
And the fact that even in the thumbnail that I sent you, I'm wearing 13 French Blues, right? And
yes, let's pull that up while we're talking about it.
I have a lot of 13s. One of my best friends in teaching, his name is Ramon Salinas. I hope he's watching this. One of the greatest teachers and human beings I've ever known. He is a 13 cat. Me and him taught together for about 4 years. He moved on to high school a couple years ago, but he is just a good human being. And I call those the Air Jordan Ramones, because he loves 13s, right? So he is a good friend, a good human being, and those are his favorite shoes. So big shout out to him. But I think the Jordan 14, they just strayed from the formula for the first time. And I think after that, I feel like there was a good stretch of time where they just were reaching for different. I think they were trying to keep up with what they felt was new, and that was around the time Jordan was, really ratired. And it's one thing to see him playing in his shoes every year, right? And I think when he wasn't playing consistently anymore, and you didn't see him on the floor during NBA, Saturdays and those big Sunday games, and on Christmas and on those games and whatnot. It was like, oh, the new Jordan's coming out, right? And back then we didn't have all this social media. It wasn't, posting.
Right.
So we didn't have access that way. So I think they got away with still just kind of doing what they wanted to do, because it wasn't as visible, right? And I'm not saying it's an ugly silhouette. I'm not saying I would add more elements of the 13 to have a cleaner segue to the 14. I just think they just said, you know, we're just going to scratch the 13, what we did with it, and just be done with it. But
Yeah,
I think that's my
completely off.
That's my least favorite. And if I could change anything, I would have them add more elements from the 14 and have it be more of a continuum.
Ooh, and with that would be such a cool shoe with your touch on it and your laces,
Right,
and your accessories.
right.
Jordan Brand, if you're watching this, if you ever come across the professor, you need to make sure you do a collaboration with him.
Man, I hope
Because
so.
honestly, they don't take enough people from the community, in my opinion, to make those awesome ideas. And that's what I'm influencing my kids when we talk about careers around the time when we have our career day. You can be at the table designing the majority of these shoes. You can be that designer to these shoes. You don't have to be in the back. You can be in the front, sitting at the table with those people. Okay, so quick one, and then we're going to get ready to end. Terry is saying the sneaker community needs more educators. Being African American and have a passion for sneakers and streetwear, as well as education, can be a bit of a lonely niche at times.
It is. Well, it's the response that you get. I can speak from personal experience. It's the response that I get when I go to work, not from necessarily students, but from colleagues. It's either I get a great response, or I get those side eyes, or I get jokes and snickers. But guess what? I don't care. I could care. You know what? Laugh. The more you laugh, I could give a damn, right? Because I'm not doing it for you. And at the end of the day, I'm doing it for myself, because that's who I am. I'm comfortable in my own skin. As Black people get older, we glow up, right? And
we do.
And I am, and I'm telling you right now, this comeback is personal, right? So
yes,
the comeback is personal. The past year or so was gladiator training. It was rough, and I had a lot of outside influences trying to beat down and dim the light that is Mr. Gaulden. But this comeback gonna be personal, and whether they see it or not, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for myself, and I'm doing it for those who I'm gonna influence moving forward. So we definitely need more in education. We definitely need to adjust our standards of style and fashion in education, because a lot of our kids, Black and brown kids, their association with white dudes in the suit are almost negative, right? Whether it be law enforcement, whether it be social workers, whether it be lawyers, whether it be child services, whether it be, you know, administrators getting ready to suspend them from the schoolhouse. It's such a negative connotation of that style. So why would I go to my classroom wearing that uniform, right? Wearing that mask, carrying a briefcase? No, I'm going in my Fashion Nova pants, you know, I'm going in my Sheen t-shirts, right? And I'm going in my Sheen sweater, right? Right. And I'm going in my Jordan Nike backpack. And guess what? I'm gonna rock out, but guess what? I'm gonna be the best teacher on that campus. And if I'm not gonna stop until I am.
That's right. It almost goes back to what I Sell Sneakers Not Dreams just said. She said, Terry, you are more appreciated than you know. It may feel lonely, but the impact on the kids you may or may not know you touch is mighty. So it's just like what you're saying, Professor. Go in there and be your own person. Because at the end of the day, the touch that you're making is not small. It is legendary. It's legendary. And Teacher Heat, one of your people, says they snicker and laugh until you're having a great time at work and your class is managed correctly. Then they ask, what are you doing differently? That's it, Teacher Heat. You said it. You hit it on the nail. All right, guys, here we go. It is now time to move into the professor's bonus shoe. The professor is bringing the bonus shoe. Okay. Professor, you about to open up the month of August, but you're also giving us that bonus. Tell us what we doing.
All right. So when I was in 7th grade, I didn't know an Air Jordan from and Air Whack, right? So I came home, and my father had this habit when we were younger. He would be walking through a mall or a shopping center, and if he saw a line, he would just get in line for whatever it was, not even knowing what he was in line for, right? So we got more game systems and clothes that way, them starter jackets, right? So he said one day he was walking through a mall and saw this line outside of Foot Locker. He's like, I don't know what it is. Like, he got in line, right? Mm-hmm. So I got home from school that day. I was in 7th grade, and I saw this box on my bed. I didn't know what it was. I opened it up, and it was the original Air Jordan 11 Concord. So my very first Air Jordan shoe that turned me on to Jordans and that turned me on to this culture, this community, this movement, was the original Air Jordan 11. So much to my delight, when the gratitude, because I love gold. I don't know if you can tell, all my accents, most of my accents are gold accents. I love gold. The fact that this sneaker was released with gold accents on it, just tells that story of not just how I started in sneakers, but that connection to my father, who really just, no matter what it was, he wanted my brother and I to have everything, and always understand, always let us know, you never have to want for anything, you never have to steal anything. If you want it, just tell me, I'll get it. If I can't get it, I'll figure out a way to get it, because he wanted us to focus on being kids, because he always said, as a Black man, once you're grown, and the world's gonna be hard. So this sneaker means a lot to me. So when it was released this past December, I got one for myself, I got one for my son, and I wanted him to understand, look, and by far that was not his first Jordan, because he has a problem just like his daddy, but I wanted him to have this sneaker because of what it meant to me, what it meant to our family. But this is where it started. This original colorway, the quality of this particular shoe, I believe, is much higher than the original. I believe this is much higher than the Concord that was released a few years ago. And you take the gold accents with this one, with that defining moments pack. I think it's second to none. So this is my bonus.
God. Wait a minute. First of all, shout out to Dad.
Absolutely.
Oh, we salute you, Dad, on JayS4DaYZ. You birthed an educator that knows his shoes. Shout out to Dad. Like, wow. And the mere fact of the matter is that he took his money because he cared about because he knew the pressures. He knew the pressures. And he knew when he was a young man, I'm not going to let my kids go through that.
Not at all.
He brought that shoe to you. It was on your bed when you got home from school.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
So that's who he was. Well, I shouldn't say was. That's who he is, because I'm blessed to still have my father.
That's right. Daddy's still here. Is Daddy in the building?
But that's
in the building,
right? That's who he is, and that's,
yeah.
That's the kind of teacher I try to be, and I want kids to know when they see Mr. Gaulden, no matter what the problem is, it's gonna be all right. We're gonna figure it out,
right?
And if I can't do it personally, I'm gonna find you somebody that can, right? So, but yeah, that's the showcase. That's it.
Oh, listen, that shoe. Listen, the way you ended, I'm gonna bring on Lizzo, because the way you ended was oh my God. You ended with Daddy. And I'm gonna tell you this, your parents' story is a lot similar to me and my husband's, because we didn't grow up like that. I mean, I know I didn't. He had them in New York, but that's another story, how he got them. But we are that family for our sons. Like, my son wears Jordans. All our kids, my daughter does too. We buy those shoes for them. One, because we're blessed to be able to afford them. But also, too, I love how you scope that out. It's important. It's just how they express themselves. And my sons love Jordans. They know it's hard work to get them.
Yes, ma'am.
And I love how your parents influenced that on you, because there needed to be a change within the family dynamics. And they did that. Wow, you got the original Gratitudes. And then you got them when they was re-released. So what happened to the old pair? What are you at?
Oh my God. And you know what? I couldn't tell you if I know I beat them things up because I never took them off. And I didn't realize what I had on my feet until I got to school the next day. And there was crowds around me, right? And
I bet.
Like I didn't understand, but it was like you got these patent leather kicks on, and I was like, I didn't understand what I understand what they were and what I had. And then the very next year, the Jordan 12 came out, and that was it. I was done. At that point, I was done. So I've been gone ever since because Jordan 12s are my all-time favorite. So once those Jordan 12s dropped, I was a lifer. Yeah. That was
so
it.
you were at the stroll. You was at the college party strolling in your gold Q Dog boots, or was you strolling in your Jordans?
Oh, I never wore boots. No, absolutely no. I did have Timberlands back in the day. Don't get me wrong, but
that's right. They did wear the Timberlands.
I would spray paint a pair of Jordans in a minute. All gold. All gold. Don't get me started.
So we can officially say I have the king of Jordans on the show this year for 2024. Okay, here we go. We're going to get ready to close out. Terry wants to tell you, I love what you're doing, man. I couldn't do K through 12. My background is in student affairs. I was a Greek in college and want to work on that. So want to work with fraternities. We're not all neighbors, I promise. I sell sneakers, not dream stated. I just want to say that I'm learning that a lot of people who are walking in their purpose have sneakers on.
Yes, ma'am.
And salute to them. Exactly. So Jay Palace says, my pops bought me my hoops shoes to be able to play. Never can forget about your folks because they shape us. Teacher Heat is giving you the ultimate crown today, sir. I agree. Teacher Heat is giving he has given us the ultimate. Everybody put your hands together for the speaker, Teacher A.A.G. Mr. G is in the building today. Boy, did you open up the month of August really well.
Thank you. I appreciate having me.
Oh my goodness. So listen, before we get ready to go, look, Jay Palace says Timbs were a vibe back then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Timbs were definitely a vibe. So, Professor, tell the people where they can find you, how we can know where to follow you. Tell us all the good stuff.
Find me on Instagram, obviously. Sneaker Teacher AAG. Hope you can put all my stuff on this if you can. I'm on TikTok. I believe.
I need that. Okay.
I believe the tag on TikTok is G.BOOGIE. G.BOOGIE. So that's there too. It's spelled the same way as it is on my Instagram page. And I'm out there. I'm always posting. I'm always sharing stuff from those in the community. If my boys are posting something, I'm sharing it on my story, making sure we get the love out. It's just about love and positivity, and just it's like, hey, if you got something crazy and you want to show it, put it out there. We'll show it for you too. And it's not about gatekeeping. It's about getting it out there and making sure people get what they want. Making sure everyone's collection is how they see it in their wildest dreams. Like nobody should have a sneaker that they can't get. So. I'm a strong believer in that. If I can get something and you can't, let me know. I'll get it for you, and we can figure out how to get it to you. So it's all about making sure that we all feel comfortable when we put our sneakers on in the morning. So, and if that gives us an extra amount of pride, or put some pep in our step, or makes us put our shoulders back a little bit more and our chest out a little bit further, let's do that.
Yes, and adding that self-expression. Oh my gosh, shout out to you. Listen, before we close out, I gotta show you what Rose says. Not because I'm your wife, but thank you for the positive influence you give your students. Keep showing them the way. Power to you, Professor. I love that. Thank you so much, Rose. Guys, Follow him on all platforms. I will definitely have all of his information in the description box. Also, too, before you leave, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel. With this type of showcase and these stories, this is one that will be shared consistently. I do appreciate you. It is the beginning of the school year.
We start tomorrow, actually. Yeah.
I'm already back. We're already back. Yeah. Listen, I pray that you have a blessed, amazing sneaker school year where you're making them connections. And listen, those high school kids don't know what they about to get, but they will never, ever forget you. My great Maya Angelou is not what they're going to remember what you said or what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. And Professor, you making them feel heard and seen. And I thank you for that. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I do. Thank y'all so much. Before we leave, let's close it out. All right, guys, we are out of here. Take care, and we will see y'all in the next couple of weeks. Peace out. JayS4DaYZ on Sunday. You better take that sip, but I ain't got nothing left, so